भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवयां भगवतीम् उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss from 10th canto, first chapter, text from 8 to 12, yesterday's continuation. So first we recite the slokas 8. So then one after one we can go. So please repeat after me. रोहिण्यास्तनय प्रोक्तो रामसङ्घर्षणस्त्वया देवज्ञा गर्भसम्बन्ध गुहो देहान्तरं विना। Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So first we will read the word to word meaning. Rohinya of Rogini Devi, the mother of Baladeva. Danaya, the son. Prokta is well known. Rama, Balarama. Sangarshana, Balaram is none other than Sangarshana, the first deity in the Kotarpur group. Like Sangarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna and Vasudev. Tvaya, by you. Devagya, of Devagi, the mother of Krishna. Garbhasambandha, connected with the womb. Kutha, how. Dehantaram, transferring bodies. Vina, without. Translation. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, you have already explained that Sangarshana, who belonged to the second Kotarpul, appeared as the son of Rohini named Balaram. If Balaram was not transformed from the one body to another, how it is possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. Purport. Here is a question particularly directed at understanding Balarama, who is Sangarshana himself. Balaram is well known as the son of Rohini, yet it is also known that he was the son of Devaki. Parikshit Maharaj wanted to understand the mystery of Balarama's being the son of both Devaki and Rohini. Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukham Karodi Vachalam Pangum Langede Girim Yatkripatam Maham Vande Shri Gurum Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvara. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bodhale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Parshadya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are continuing our discussion from the 10th canto of first chapter. So we are going to see the text from 8 to 12 today. First of all, in the sky, if you see in the night time, there will be a lot of stars. So it looks like it looks good, but when the full moon appeared in the sky, which will looks good, star or moon? Moon. So similarly, in the sky of Veda, there are lot of stars. Like many Upanishads are there, Samhitas are there, Dharma Shastras are there, and many other things also is there. But that's all. It's like a star. It looks good. It is needed also. But among all that star, when the full moon of the Bhagavatam, it is appeared in the sky, then the whole sky it's look like very beautiful. So without the moon, the sky will not appear like completed. There always we feel that emptiness if sun it is not there. So who can enjoy that? Who can release that full moon? One can sit with his grandmother. He can release that full moon. If some person he was sitting in the bank of the ocean, shore of the ocean, and he is sitting with his grandmother, he can release that moon. He can, in some extent, with his grandmother. If he with his father and mother, he can release completely. No, some extent he can release. And if he with his friends, then how he can release? At that time also he can release little bit, more than that. But when he was sitting with his Priyatama, beloved wife or lover, so that time how he will release? How much he will release? By seeing that full moon, immediately he will start speaking like, really that moon is beautiful or this moon is beautiful. After that it will become like a Suryamukhi or Chandramukhi, so whatever it is. But that time really he will release, isn't it? So really, if one person want to release the Bhagavatam, then definitely he should be with the association of devotees. Then only he can release completely the Bhagavatam. The real releaseness, it will come with when we are sitting together with the devotees, hearing from pure devotees, not like me. So when we are hearing from such a pure devotee, then definitely we can also release the Bhagavatam. So here, Parikshit Maharaj got such a great association like Sukadeva Goswami. What else he need better than Sukadeva Goswami? So definitely he can release the Bhagavatam. He is releasing. That's why day after it's going and keep on they are hearing without tired, without thirst, without hunger. So imagine one person, he is in the uh, emergency of the death. Already he had the death sentence. But how he can peacefully sit and hear the Bhagavatam? Of course, uh, Lord's pastimes are sweet, transcendental, okay. But it is possible in our life to hear 7 days continuously. Maybe some days. Especially for me. Okay. Uh, so, if Parikshit Maharaj have that uh, uh, one emergency, he had that death sentence, but still peacefully, very cool, he is hearing the glorious of Bhagavan from Sukadeva Goswami. That means you imagine how the person he is speaking. Totally, if you are forgot your where you are, totally you are forgetting about yourself itself. That is unimaginable. That is not at all possible for the conditioned souls. If one person can took some higher platform, then that person should be in that same platform. Then only he can take that persons to that same platform. So if Sukadeva Goswami really is in that platform, that's why Parikshit Maharaj also, he is not tired by his katha. When the class will be over, it is not, he is not thinking like that. He was keep on asking. Even after 5-6 days is over, 5 days are over, but still very enthusiastically Parikshit Maharaj asking many questions. How it is possible? So, because he is hearing from such a wonderful devotee, pure devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. So that is why it is possible. He forgot about his miseries, everything, and he fully focused on the hearing about Krishna's pastime. Now he want to hear many personal pastimes about Krishna. So previously he asked many questions, but now he is going to the specific question about Krishna. That is what we are going to see today's section. So first his question is Rohinyos Tanaya Putra. That means already in the 9th canto, 24th chapter, verse 54, Sukadeva Goswami already said that Balaram is the son of Devaki. When Sukadeva Goswami was describing about the dynasty of sun and moon, so there he is describing about the moon dynasty. So there already he explained Balaram is the son of Devaki. Then how he can be the son of Rogini? If son of Rogini, then how he is the son of Devaki? How it can happen both in the same time? That was his doubt. So first of all, in the Vishnu Sahasranama it is said, Ajayamana Bhakuta Vijanade. Aja, who is Aja? Aja means unborn. Who is unborn? Supreme Lord is the unborn. And that Supreme Lord, unborn, he is taking Bhaguta, many, Vijanade, many forms. He is taking many forms. So how it is possible? The unborn, how he is taking birth? That is what he want to know. The Parikshit Maharaj, he want to know about that, the secret of, what is the secret behind the birth of Balaram and also Krishna, how they are taking birth in this material world. So they are taking birth as like us. In childhood time, I used to ask my parents, why you uh, gave birth to me? If you are not giving birth to me, I will take birth in some other rich family or something. I will get a white skin. Why you give birth like me, like this? I used to ask like that with my mother. That is not in our hand. We are also thinking why you took birth in our home. The same question we also have, but we don't have the answer. So it is not like that. But when Krishna want to take birth, he already decided that, okay, you can play my parents' role. You can go now, like that. Krishna is choosing his parents. He is not taking birth like us with the force of the karma. He is taking birth because he want to show his transcendental pastime to his devotees and the conditioned soul to attract them. So that's why uh, Krishna want to take Krishna appearing in this material world. So uh, so that's why Parchit Maharaj was asking the question, how the Supreme Lord they took birth. Here the how Balaram took birth, Devaki and Rohini both same time. So first Sankarshan means the Balaram, he appeared in the womb of Devaki, and then after 7 months he is transformed from Devaki womb to uh, Rohini's womb. So how it is possible? It is not like Prabhu, from today onwards you don't stay in this room, you changed your room to that room. We are giving to you a different room. In the ashram it is happened sometime. Brahmacharya's ashram, they used to change the rooms. From today onwards you change your room. Then that brahmachari get disturbed. Why you are changing my room? I am staying here. Why you want to change? So it is difficult also, immediately changing one place to another place. So lot of setup has to do. So even for us it is very much difficult. Then see, they are simply changing the one child one womb to another womb. How it is? It is like a prasadam or what? You take this room to offer, then you keep it in the separate another one room. So by the Sambhavami Atma Maya, by the Lord's spiritual potency, he doing that Yoga Maya, he is shifting that child from one womb to another womb. So that is how the Balaram, known as in the same Devaki's son also and Rohini's son also. This is how he is known as both the son, Devaki and Rohini. So, and here another one word it is said. Oh, sorry, that is next one. Okay. Now we can see the next sloka. Kasman Muhundo Bhagavan Piturgegat Vrajam Gata Vavasam Janadibi Sartam Kritavan Satvatam Pati. Translation and purport. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father Vasudev and transfer himself to the house of Nanda in Vrindavan. Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavan? Purport. There are inquiries about the itinerary of Krishna lust after his birth, just just after his birth in the house of Vasudev in Madura. Krishna transformed himself to and Gokula and the other side of the Yamuna, and after some days he moved with his father, mother and other relatives to Nandagram, Vrindavana. Maharaj Parikshit was very much eager to hear about Krishna's activities in Vrindavana. This entire canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is full of activities performed in Vrindavana and Dwaraka. The first 40 chapters describes Krishna's Vrindavana's affairs, and the next 50 chapters Krishna's activities in Dwaraka. Maharaj Parikshit, to fulfill his desire to hear about Krishna's, requested Sukadeva Goswami to describe these activities in full details. So, Sukadeva Goswami, he was slowly bringing the Parikshit Maharaj to, he was increasing his eagerness to hear about the Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj also, he is very much eager to hear about the Krishna's Leela. Parikshit Maharaj is very eager to hear about Krishna from the beginning only, but Sukadeva Goswami described in this, it is in the 10th canto only. Why it is like that? If you see in the movie there is a very important scene. It is there, the first introduction scene of hero. That is the very important scene in the movie. That is the very important scene for the particular hero audience. That is very important, especially in Tamil movie I am telling. So when the first scene is starting, they will not see the hero's face immediately. They will show from his lotus feet. And they will start from the feet from to slowly and his face. And when they are seeing the hero's face, and slowly he will turn to the audience and he will little bit smile. How? Then he will speak some dialogue according to that film. Then the whole audience will go crazy. Oh, Thalaiva, Thalaiva. And they will throw the papers. Oh. The same person, first they are showing that feet, but that time also they are getting some what is that? Excitement. And slowly when the camera is moving towards the face, and that audience eagerness was fully, it is in the high temperature. They will, if you see the theater, they will go in front of the screen only. That theater hall, they will go in front of the screen only, and they will jump and dance and throw the papers like that. They will in the full ecstasy. So even in the material life, the people are like to see their heroes in that way. It is increasing the sweetness. Then what to speak of Krishna? So Krishna's pastimes and his form, everything it's like beautiful. Everything is beautiful, like honey. So if you see the honey, when you pour the honey, that honey will pour and it will not like a water. When you pour it, then it will fold. in the Abhiseka time also we can see that honey will fold one by one. It will not like water. So Sukadeva Goswami, he is pouring that honey from the first canto to second canto, one fold to another fold, and from there third to four, and it is coming gradually to the 10th canto. So first canto also it is honey, and why the 10th canto is more sweeter than the first canto? Srimad Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Rasamalayam means so it's totally sweetness only. Then why the 10th canto is specially sweet? How it can be sweet? If you take gulab jamun, if you taste it in any corner, the same taste will come or not? You can't say the center of the gulab jamun only its sweetness, the covering it's not sweet. We can't say like that. So if Bhagavatam is Rasamalayam, then why the 10th canto is sweet? So if you see in the honey bottle, the top or when the top honeys, it is not like a fully in the solid form, not solid. How can we say that? Semi-solid. But the top, how it is liquid. When it is go down, then how it is like a semi-solid. Thickness will be there. The viscous will be there. So that will give more sweetness. So like that, the 10th canto, it is more sweetness because there is the direct pastime about the Krishnas. So that sweet pastime Parikshit Maharaj want to know. That's why here he is asking directly, what Krishna, why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father and he went to Vrindavan? That is what Parikshit Maharaj's question. So he want to know about that sweetest pastimes of Krishna. Here Acharyas gave some other meaning also for the another words. We can see that. So here especially the Satvatampadi word is there. Satvatampadi means Sanatana Goswami says that Satvatampadi is protector of the devotees. But here word to word meaning it is there, master of the devotees. Master will give protection, there is no problem, it's same only. So master of the devotees. Okay, now your master, he leaving his own parents. Where is the protection? He is leaving his own parents and he is going to enjoy somewhere. Okay, you let me suffer some days, I will come later. Like in your home, some very critical problem is going. And that time you got the opportunity to go to a trip for Singapore, Malaysia. If you go that trip, how your family members will feel? We are all suffering like anything. And this time you want to go to the Singapore, Malaysia trip. Huh? They will ask or not. So, but here Krishna, he want to go to enjoy his pastime in Vrindavan. And then what is the question of Satvatampadi? How he is protecting? Why he is going to there? So, if Krishna not leave Vrindavan, Devaki and Vasudev, he did not come to Nanda Maharaj, then the Sukadeva Goswami will not attracted by his pastime. Ago Bhagiyam Stanakala Kudam. By hearing this sloka only, Sukadeva Goswami attracted, isn't it? Some other slokas also is there. This is one of the verse. So if Krishna does not leave the Vasudeva house, then how this pastime will happen? And how we are also will attracted by his pastime. If simply he stays in his home, then there is no pastime. So Krishna want to give happiness to the Brajavasis by doing so many leelas there, and after that we are also getting attracted by that same leelas. So then finally he is saving his father also. It's okay. uh, then the Srinath Pandit, he is giving another one meaning for the Satvatam Padi. Satvatam Padi means one who is the worshipper for his devotees. I think I am right. Who is the object for the he is the yeah, object of worship. He is Satvadampadi. So the devotees naturally they are worshipping Krishna. So that's why he is Satvadampadi. And another one meaning Acharya is giving in the 9th canto, there is a discussion about the kings. In that king, one king name is Satvata. So he is coming from the Yadu dynasty only. So that's why he is naturally called Satvadampadi. So like that, the Acharya is giving the meaning for Satvadampadi. And the another one word, Mugundo, Bhagavan Mugundo, that word also Acharya is giving meaning. Mukunda means Muktim Tadadi. That's why he is Mukunda, one who gives liberation to his devotees who is worshipping him. So that's why he is called Mukunda. Acha, then why he did not give the liberation to his own uncle? Why he is left his home? Acharya is asking that question. Why he is left the home? First he has to liberate his uncle, and parents also is there. Why he didn't leave the home? Why he leave the home? Acharya Sanatana Goswami giving that another one meaning for Mukunda. Mukunda means premam tatadi, one who giving the prema to the devotees. So to give the prema to the Brajavasis, that's why he leave the home. So Kasmat, why he leave the home? So that's why Acharya is giving this answer. Why he is leave the home? Because he is giving prema to the all the Brajavasis. That's why he left the home. Here the Bhagavan word is there. Then why Bhagavan has to leave the home? He is Bhagavan only, na? Why he has to run from there his home? So by the asking question Kasmat, Acharya is asking, telling that Kasmat means why Bhagavan has to leave the home. Here he is not asking like why Bhagavan is he leave the home, not like in this way. Why Bhagavan has to leave? He is Bhagavan, na? So why he has to leave? So this is all the reasons. He wants to give the prema to the Brajavasis. That's why he left the home. And another one word, Piduhu. So you are telling Bhagavan, and the Bhagavan has a father also. How? Bhagavan means he is the source for everyone, and now he has the source. Piduhu, he has a father. Then how he can be a Bhagavan? Then Jiva Goswami said, no, that is just for namesake. It is not real. Just for namesake he is father, but really no one he is not father. So Bhagavan is the source for everyone. Nobody is source for Bhagavan. So this is discussed in the verse. And next verse. Braje vasan kim akaron मधुपुर्यां च केशव भरा भरत्रां भरातरं च वदित् कंसां मधुर अत्ता अर्घणं. Lord Krishna lived both in Vrindavan and in Mathura. Why did he do there? What did he do there? Why did he kill Kamsa, his mother's brother? Such killing is not at all sanctioned in the Shastras. Purport. One's maternal uncle, the brother of one's mother, is on the level of one's father. When a maternal uncle has no son, his nephew legally inherits his property. Therefore, why did Krishna directly kill Kamsa, the brother of his mother? Maharaj Parikshit was very much inquisitive about the facts in this regard. So here is the question: why Krishna killed his uncle Kamsa? And how many days he lived in Vrindavan and Mathura? That is the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. So first of all, Kamsa, he is uncle, brother of his mother. So Prabhupada is saying here, uncle is like a father only, and your Lord is killing his own uncle. Like that the question is coming. Why Bhagavan has to kill his own father, like a father, his uncle? Why he is killing? I heard from one Sri Vaishnava, so he giving one different explanation for this. Because he doesn't have a daughter, isn't it? Kamsa doesn't have a daughter. If he have a daughter, then Krishna will marry and he will forgive him. Okay, go. Like already he did for, he married Rukmini, and he did not kill the Rukmini father and the Rukmini also. Rukmini want to give Rukmini to the Sishupala, and he was fighting with Krishna also. But Krishna did not kill Rukmini. And also Rukmini's father also. Same like you can see the Banasura story. Banasura has a daughter Usha. So Lord gave his grandson. Anirudh married the Usha. So that's why he didn't kill the Banasura also. Same like you can see in the Duryodhana's story, Duryodhana also. Duryodhana has a daughter, and Samba married the daughter. That's why they did not kill directly the Duryodhana, because the relation is came now. So Kamsa did a big mistake. He doesn't have a daughter. If he have a daughter, then Krishna will forgive him. Like that he is telling. Maybe another one reason, in the future Krishna is going to speak Bhagavad Gita to Krishna. Don't have attachment with your relatives. They are all Atma. They will never die. He is going to speak. So in order to show by his own example, he is killing his own uncle Kamsa. He don't have any attachment for any relationships. But anyway, he is a demon only. So like that. Some the next sloka. देहं मानुषमाश्रित्य कदिवा श्रीनिवृष्णिभिः जदुपुर्यां सगवसि पत्न्या कत्य अभवन् प्रभो. Translation: Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, yet he appears as a human being. For many years did he live with the transcendence of descendants of Vrishni. How many wives did he marry, and for how many years did he live in Dwaraka? Purport: in many places, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Satchidananda Vigraha, possessing a spiritual, blissful body. His bodily feature is Narakriti, that is exactly like that of a human being. Here, the same idea is repeated in the words Manusham Asritya, which indicates that he accepts a body exactly like that of a man. Everywhere it is confirmed that Krishna is never Nirakara or formless. He has his form exactly like that of a human being. There is no doubt about this. So here Parchit Maharaj is telling that Bhagavan took birth like a human. So that means his body also it's like a material, because he is in the form of human. So our bodies are all made up of the material elements only. So Bhagavan's Lord body is like a material body. No, in the Bhagavad Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami is giving many arguments for this, how the Lord's form is eternal, transcendental. So first he is saying that in the first canto itself, how the Vyasadeva, he is seeing in the trance, Mayamcha tat apasrayat. So that Maya, it is apasraya, it is separated from his Bhagavan. So then how the Lord's form will be material? And another one argument he is giving that in the prayer of Devagi, 3 slokas he is quoting there. In that one sloka, Devagi is saying that your body is not beyond, not by the influenced by the time. So whatever the objects or elements is there in this material world, so naturally it will influenced by the time. If the Lord's body is not influenced by the time, that means naturally his body is transcendental only. So like that. And another meaning, Manusha means here you tell me how many years they lived in the according to the human calculation. According to the human calculation, how many years they lived, like that. And here Jiva Goswami is saying that Deha means here the Deha, it's indicating this universe, Martya Loga, this universe it is indicating. So in the second canto we can see that Sukadeva Goswami describing about the Virat Rupa, how the Bhagavan's form is expanding as a universal form. So in this way, here the Lord take the shelter of the universe, and he is taking the he is appearing in this world as a human, like that Sukadeva Goswami is saying. This is one reason. So last sloka also we will read and complete it. Yedat anyacha sarvam me mune Krishna visheshtitam vaikunda arvasi सर्वज्ञा श्रद्धतानश्च विस्तराम. Translation. O great sage who know everything about Krishna, please describe in detail all the activities of which I have inquired and also those of which I have not, for I have full faith and I am very eager to hear of them. So here Parshit Maharaj expressing his eagerness to hear about all the pastimes, whether he asked some questions or not particularly, that's not, you tell me all the activities of the Krishna. So here Sanatana Goswami is saying that Parshit Maharaj, he is saying, I have a faith. So why he has to say that? Because Sukadeva Goswami, he was thinking like that, why I have to tell all the pastimes? So Sukadeva Goswami may be thinking like that. So understanding that Parshit Maharaj, he is saying, no, you don't worry about, I have a full faith on that Krishna's pastime. You can describe all the pastimes. There is no problem. I will not ask question how the small boy can carry the Govardhan hill in 7 days in the little finger. No, I will not ask like that. I have a full faith on the Krishna's pastime. So you can tell all the pastimes. Then another one reason they are saying why he has to describe the Krishna's all the activities, because that is Viseshtidam. That is all very special. It is not like some ordinary activities. Krishna's activities are all very special, Viseshtidam. That's why he want to hear all the activities. And here Parshit Maharaj saying that Parshit Maharaj saying to Sukadeva Goswami as calling Mune. Mune means he is meditating. Muni means who is always doing the meditating, manana. He called the Muni. So here this Muni, always he is meditating on the pastimes of the Lord. That's why you can describe all the pastimes. And another one word beautifully explained, Sarvajna. Why here using that word Sarvajna? How I can describe all the activities? Maybe Sukadeva Goswami can think like that. So that's why Parshit Maharaj is saying that you are a Sarvajna. You know everything. That's why you can explain all the activities. So how Sukadeva Goswami can be a Sarvajna? Because the Lord is Sarvajna. He knows the Lord. That's why he also Sarvajna. So in this way, Sukadeva Goswami can explain all the Krishna's pastime. So that is what question asked by Parshit Maharaj. Hare Krishna. I am stopping here. So thank you for tolerating my class. Usually after doing all the pujas, the pujaris, they will say this mantra hinam, kriya hinam, so many hinams are there. So like that, my language hinam, my intelligent hinam, my translation, my realization, there is no question about that. So many hinas are there, but still in order to purify myself,